Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Dr. Staci here. So excited you are joining us this evening, or maybe you're catching the replay. I am excited to share with you some fantastic information about LifeWave's technology, how it works, how it can help you. If you're a guest tonight, welcome. Hang tight. This is 30 minutes. I'm going to go through some fantastic information about LifeWave. And of course, then you're going to be talking to the person that invited you here, and they're going to help you get set up or answer any other questions you have going forward. Please know that I'm not a medical doctor, so the information that I'm sharing tonight is not intended to make any claims to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent anything. If you're on medicines, please check with your practitioner or your healthcare provider that's in charge of you and your medicine. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are in charge of you. And so I hope that you take some of this information tonight and use this to improve your quality of life. So, we're always trying to help make sure that we bring a lot of value to the field, to our community. And it was an idea that just popped in my head a while back to talk about really some core longevity tools in our toolbox, things that help you to live a long, healthy life. When I found out about LifeWave, that was it for me. I was all about longevity, wellness, vitality. How can I have the best quality of life as I'm aging or reverse aging? And of course, this is going to be our first of that series. There are a lot of fantastic longevity tools that we're going to talk about, incorporating our patches into that as well. So let's go ahead and get started right away, because I do want to make sure we have plenty of time for this PowerPoint. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Hopefully we don't have any drawlers, scribblers, people that are wanting to write all over the thing. Let's see. I want to make sure I get the video. Hide the video panel. Okay, fantastic. Perfect. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about sleep. That's going to be the main thing we focus on tonight, because it is the number one most ultimate hack in your health span and your lifespan. It is the strongest predictor of your health and your life, believe it or not. And there is a massive percentage of people that are not sleeping through the night. So we're going to talk a little bit about the science and facts that anchor in that focus as being number one. And we look first of all at the brain and cognitive health. And we see that, I don't know if you've heard of this word or not, but we have toxins throughout our whole entire body, and sleep clears those out through your lymphatic system. That's going to remove a lot of the toxins from your brain while you're sleeping. Regular sleep, which is 6 hours per night, have a less than 6 hours per night. So people having regular sleep are good, but if you have poor quality of sleep, you're going to find a 30% higher risk in developing dementia later in life. Just one poor night of sleep reduces learning ability and memory consolidation by 40%. Now, we've all had, if you've had children, you've had years of poor quality of sleep, right? You're like, just put them in the bed, let's go. I need my sleep. But we know that the body does know how to heal itself, and obviously we know tools to be able to help it do that, right? So don't give up. Don't worry if it's you that you've had nights of not good sleep. Let's talk a little bit about your heart and longevity. So sleeping less than 7 hours per night is linked to 24% increase in heart disease risk and 12% in premature death. Not fun. Less than 7 hours per night. So one study even showed just one night of 4 hours sleep, we could see high blood pressure and reduced arterial flexibility. So sleep, so important to your brain, so important to your heart. Looking at metabolism and hormones, we see a lot of this today. Thank goodness it's becoming aware to people now that their metabolism, their metabolic health is critical for longevity. But sleep deprivation is going to cause insulin resistance. This is a buzzword right now. Insulin resistance after only 5 nights, making your cells act like they're pre-diabetic, and they're not. But when you have less sleep than your body needs, your body is not going to function correctly at the metabolic level, and your hormones are not going to function. And look at this, guys. Last sentence. Poor sleep lowers testosterone in men. Woo! Progesterone, estrogen balance in women, accelerating aging. So if you're guys out there and you're like, I want to make sure my testosterone's in check, sleep needs to be in check. Immune system. We did a fantastic series in August on boosting your immune system, and sleep is a key component of that. So you're 4 times more likely to catch a cold when you're exposed to something if your sleep is less than 6 hours compared to 7 hours. Can you believe that makes a difference? 1 hour, really? But that deep sleep, right? That is where you see that growth hormone, that youth hormone released in that deep sleep that's going to repair, help burn fat, muscle recovery, right? So that master cell activation. We see that natural repair and regeneration peaking during deep sleep cycles. So some lifespan studies show that 1.1 million, that's a pretty good size study, less than 6 hours of sleep and more than 9 hours were both linked to higher mortality. 7 to 8 is optimal. Across the board, 7 to 8 for longevity. People with consistent high sleep live 10 to 15% longer. That is huge. You should guard your sleep with your life for all of these reasons right here. So performance and daily function, you all know, if you don't sleep well, look at that, 50% if it reduction, an all-nighter, it's equivalent to being legally drunk. Sleep deprivation lowers so much, robbing you of not only health, but other opportunities as well. So bottom line, it is the master regulator. It controls hormones, metabolism, immune defense, brain detox, repair. Without it, nutrition, exercise, they can't deliver their full benefits. With it, all other wellness habits are amplified, which is why we're going to talk here in just a minute about things to help support your healthy sleeping lifestyle. So I'm not going to read all of this. Of course, you guys know that sleep hygiene is critical. You can see there some tips to be able to make your room the best as possible, getting rid of the electronics, airplane mode, the essential oils or temperature, blackout curtains, whatever is needed for you. Maybe an evening routine where you're reading, you're relaxing, taking, this phone away for the time, maybe some stretching, breathing, meditation, mindfulness, things like that are non-stimulant. We're not talking about watching horror movies or reading a smut novel, things like that before bedtime where you're like wound up. Gratitude journal, what a concept. That's a fantastic thing to calm the mind. I love that personally. That's how I've always spent my evenings before I go to bed, in meditation and prayer, breath work, and gratitude journal. Nutrition and hydration. We know that caffeine's going to jack with your sleep. So avoid those big heavy meals, those caffeinated drinks, alcohol. Of course, people are like, oh, I'll have a glass of wine to go to bed. You are not getting the REM sleep. You're just not. It's not going to happen. Not like a good night's natural sleep, right? Balanced blood sugar in the evening is super important. And especially having those really good healthy foods, maybe some herbal teas, right? Something like that. Valerian root, essential oil. It smells horrible, but it actually works to help with the sleep as well too. I used to use that a long time ago and my daughter was like, oh, this smells like dog poop. But it really worked. I prefer lavender, but that's just me. So daytime habits, of course, morning sunlight. You have got to do your part to reset your circadian rhythm. Do not wear sunglasses. Get out in the sun during the day and get that fresh air and that, even if it's hot right now in Florida. We're still in the 90s, but I'm out there in the morning. I'm going for a walk, 30, 40 minutes, getting the sunlight in my eyes, getting my daily movement. I don't nap. I've never napped ever. So if you are napping, limit the naps so that way you have that consistent wake sleep cycle and manage your stress during the day, like using Eon or breath work or maybe mindfulness. Of course, mind-body support. Like I said, deep breathing. Those are fantastic. So maybe some yoga, muscle relaxation techniques. Biohacking tools, weighted blankets. Some people love weighted blankets to calm their nervous system. Others like red light therapy in the evening to stimulate melatonin release. Wearing socks. There's no way I could ever wear socks to bed, but wearing socks helps some people regulate their temperature. White noise. I know I used to always have to have a white noise machine on, or I still do. When I travel, if the hotel is loud or near an elevator, I always put on, Laura introduced me to that, a fantastic app that makes it sound like it's just, this beautiful white noise in the background. So whatever you need to do, but we're going to talk again about the LifeWave patches and silent nights with the melatonin regulation and restful sleep Eon to help calm your nervous system and reduce that cortisol before bed. And of course, aloe vera for that nighttime repair for the skin and the nervous system support. So before we jump into the patches, I do want to make sure you know about blue light at night, which is what you're seeing right now happening, right? These Blue light glasses are going to be fantastic for this, but you see the screens that we're on or the phones that we're on, they affect your sleep, they affect your hormones, and they affect your metabolism. So when we look at blue lights, we know they suppress melatonin. And so blue lights from our phones, our TVs, the LED lights, they mimic daytime sunlight. And so your brain thinks it's still daytime. Melatonin production is suppressed. So you're going to have to be mindful of this and go, wait, I'm going to have to turn this thing off because I cannot do this at night if I'm not sleeping well, right? I can't make my brain think it's still daytime. So if you don't have melatonin in your body, then your circadian rhythm, right, that master clock for your sleep-wake cycles becomes disrupted. So poor melatonin, shallow sleep, fewer deep cycles, and impaired repair recovery. That glymphatic system is not going to be cleansing the brain if you're not sleeping. We also know that blue light affects cortisol and insulin resistance, as I mentioned earlier. So if you are struggling with weight, especially in the midsection, then you need to look at blue light as a possible trigger for the body because it is causing the body to release cortisol, which is your daytime alert hormone. And elevated nighttime cortisol keeps that blood sugar high with the TV, the phone, scrolling nonstop. And so over time, you're going to get mismatched make cells, which are less responsive to insulin. And insulin resistance is so rampant today. And that means it's harder to burn fat. Your body's not burning fat for fuel, which means you are at a higher risk for inflammation, fatigue, and cravings, and unfortunately, weight gain. And what did I hear that stat today? I was listening on a Zoom. I can't remember who. Oh, it was Dr. Artis. And he was talking about by 2030, 250 million out of the 350 million people in the United States are going to be obese. That means there's 100 million of us that are going to have it together, and the other 250 million are not, based on the projections right now, with 70% of our population being overweight, obese already. And I was like, wait, what? Did he say 250,000 or 250 million? 250 million. I was like, wow, that's scary. So looking at leptin signaling, if you do not know what leptin is, it's a hormone that tells your brain, I'm full, I'm done, stop eating. It works with your circadian rhythm to regulate your fat metabolism during sleep. Well, blue light exposure at night confuses those leptin receptors in the hypothalamus that is in your brain, which results in the brain doesn't get the I'm full signal. So more late night snacking, disrupted fat burning, and weight gain. And we don't want weight gain, right? So we look at this problem being also affecting our mitochondria. We know that from Energy Enhancer, right? Our mitochondria are those little organelles that are responsible for giving us energy, ATP, the powerhouse from our cells. And we know that those organelles are in every single one of our cells. But mitochondria use circadian cues like light and dark cycles to regulate the energy production. So blue light at the wrong time is going to create a mismatch, which energy production is on when it should be in repair mode. And that also reduces that nighttime cellular repair and the master cell activity. So it's exactly when the patches like X39 thrive on natural repair cycles. So again, we have to do our part with the practices and the habits that are going to be able to help us support our body in that deep sleep. So using blue light blocking glasses or maybe apps, dim your lights before bed, maybe change them to a warm color. Your phone can change colors. I don't know if you knew that or not, but the biggest thing I honestly think is getting the morning sunlight to reset that circadian rhythm. Get out there in the sun, somehow get your eyes and get your body in that rhythm of I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to get out in the sun, and I'm going to help reset my circadian rhythm. And of course, integrate your patches. Something that Trey's been doing here recently, he actually will make himself some steak and eggs for breakfast, or maybe some eggs and cheese, or something like that. He's real big into the whole milk and raw milk, raw cheese, and he'll go sit outside in the sun and have his breakfast without his shirt on, so that the sun is hitting his androgen receptors on his on his traps there, and get that morning sun in the morning without the phone or anything while he's enjoying his breakfast. And I'm like, oh, I should have known about this stuff at 20 years old. But I love it. I mean, that's a great thing about social media, right? We can learn about these things. So let's dive a little bit into our patches here. We've got about 15 minutes. So I want to spend some time to really kind of go over the different technology that we use and how it works and how it can support your body in natural sleep production, to be able to increase the time that you're sleeping, the depth of the sleep, and be able to do that in a way that is non-stimulating. So the patch that I have on here is not Silent Nights, obviously. And I'll be honest with you, I've never worn Silent Nights. I've worn all the other patches for different reasons at different times, and many of them every single day. But I've never put on a Silent Nights. I've never had an issue sleeping in my life. I sleep trained myself a very long time ago. I would do everything that I needed to do. And then, like I said, I spend that evening time very much connected to a journal, a notebook, meditations, breath work, and just some, down me time, my routine. And when I put my head on the pillow, I say my last prayers and clearings before I go to bed, and I'm done. I'm out. And that's it. And that's just me. That's what I've always done, because I go all day, every day. And I want to be productive in the time I'm working. And I know that to be the best and the most productive, I have to honor my sleep. And it's not to say that I haven't been out, or we've had, nights where we're, not sleeping as many hours, 7, 8 hours. Yeah, that happens, obviously. And again, being a parent, there's been many of those in the past. But Silent Nights isn't a patch I've used. And so I can't speak about this one personally. But of course, there's hundreds and thousands, and you feel free to put your personal Silent Nights testimonial in the chat too. I'm sure everyone would love to hear what location you use the patch on and what your results were. And so with Silent Nights, as with all of our patches, they're non-transdermal, and they are a patented form of phototherapy, light therapy, designed to improve sleep quality by stimulating the acupuncture points with specific light frequencies. So it works together with your body by regulating sleep patterns through serotonin and melatonin pathways. So this instruction booklet will give you the locations for you to use the Silent Nights. Silent Nights is not elevating a peptide. It is working with the body's biofield, with the acupuncture points and meridians in the body to regulate sleep through those melatonin and serotonin pathways. So you will want to use one of these spots. I recommend, as I've heard David recommend, that you rotate. So one night you'll do this spot, and then you'll change the spot, and every night you'll do a different spot. You may find that one night you get a better sleep, one night maybe not so much. It is a trial and error. This is not a drug. This is not a medication, obviously. So it's not like an Ambien. You take it and you may fall asleep standing up. It may take you several nights before you get a good night's sleep. And as you're going to see here from some of these studies, it may take you weeks to get your circadian rhythm reset. But before I go any further, the slides that I've already went through are your responsibility. You cannot put on a patch and expect it to do everything that you should be doing with your diet, with your environment, with your practices. Those are things you have to do yourself. And this is something, a tool in your toolbox to assist you instead of using some type of medication or over-the-counter type of product that puts something into your body, right? Remember, we're non-transdermal. Lisa Reister, you just wrote on my screen, girlfriend. All right, so hang on one second. There's no way to do it except stop screen share. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to get rid of that box. So if anybody knows how to, that box to get rid of the, what do you call those things? The people that draw on your screen on accident. I know it was an accident. It always is, but I don't know how to get rid of it otherwise. So let's look at clinical evidence. You can go into your back office if you're a brand partner. You can click on the resources tab and click on clinical studies tab, and you will see studies. And you will see some studies on the Silent Nights as well. So this is from Dr. Norm Shealy, this first one. Second one was Dr. Blake and Dr. Homer Nazaran. David talks about them a lot. I'm not going to read these to you guys, but you can see just in a short period of time, 80% improved sleep quality, 88% improved sleep duration for 25 different people. You can see that 2 weeks produced considerable improvements, not 2 minutes, not 2 days, but for this study, it was 2 weeks. And as with any studies, we have 0 adverse effects ever reported. In the other study, you can see a 29% reduction in nighttime activity in just 2 weeks. you can see a 22% reduction in awake time and a 28% reduction in time in bed versus awake, and 28% in the restlessness reduction, which is fantastic. Again, we are actually helping the body to improve its functionality in what it should be and doing and what it did effectively in the past. This is a double-blind, placebo-controlled study with Dr. Shealy talking about insomnia, and again, reporting going from 3.9 hours to 6.2 hours of sleep in a 4-week period of time, and an increase of about almost 3 hours of sleep a night with silent nights. So that's a big difference in a month. So give it some time, be patient, be persistent, and know that, different acupuncture points, different spots are going to work different for different people. So try and find what spot works for you. But the consistency is what is key, right? 2.5 hours of sleep a night, improvement in insomnia sufferers, that's huge. And again, no adverse effects at all. So Silent Nights is going to support natural sleep regulation without drugs, improving both subjective and objective sleep measurements, differentiating from supplements and pharmaceuticals by being light-based, non-transdermal, putting nothing into the body at all. David invented each of these patches individually over the past 23 years. And this patch, when you look at this white part here, what he has invented is a crystalline lattice structure that's inside. It's a solution of molecules, and these molecules form a lattice structure that's reflective. When I put this patch on my body, if I'm putting on a Silent Nights at night, then what happens is immediately my body's heat or light that I emit, if I were to go outside right now, I couldn't see my neighbors or the animals. I would just see dark unless I had night vision goggles. And then I could see the heat or the light being emitted off of the people or of the animals. And so when I put this patch on, my body's heat is what activates the patch. It hits the patch and reflects back a specific wavelength of light that is going to impact those melatonin and serotonin pathways for the Silent Nights sleep patch. So we're going to talk a little bit about Alavida. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the day and night cream. They don't have anything to do with your actual sleeping, but we do use them for the restorative repair benefits on the skin. I have been using them for day one. I am obsessed, especially with the night cream. It is my hand cream. It is my décolleté cream. It is my face cream at night, and sometimes all over body cream, because I'm just obsessed with how much my skin is so soft and it's so smooth, and I don't want to have old lady hands or neck, chest area. So I love our day, our night, and our GHKCU copper peptide eye cream as well too. But Alavida patch is very different than Silent Nights. Alavida is, of course, a non-transdermal patch. This is the same type of technology with phototherapy. It's going to elevate a peptide in the body, the epithalamin peptide in your pineal gland, which is linked to sleep regulation and pineal gland activity, and of course, the reduction of oxidative and inflammatory stress in the body. So without going through all of this, you can see some key highlighted points of better rest, fewer nighttime awakenings, feeling more refreshed upon awakening, reduction in tired look, and improved morning appearance linked to higher quality sleep and skin repair. So when you elevate that peptide, the epithalamin peptide, we do also have a little bit of elevation in of course, the supporting of melatonin modulation, which creates and helps to regulate that circadian rhythm and sleep cycles. So we see that this patch does have benefit with sleeping as well, so which is going to help with mental clarity and focus and your quality of rest. So that is 100% why I use Alavida every night for my skin, for the reduction of oxidative stress, and of course the brain, the pineal gland, cleaning that pineal gland and keeping things working there with that peptide. So this is a little bit of a comparison. I'm not going to read through this for time purposes because I do want to talk to you about one more patch, and I'll show you a comparison with that. But if you, of course, want to screenshot this, basically look at the bottom key takeaway. Strong clinical evidence best for increasing sleep length and treating insomnia-like issues, which would be your Silent Nights. Alavida is going to be your broader wellness patch. It's best for improving sleep quality, pineal gland health, and waking refreshed with added skin regeneration benefits. I'm obsessed with aloe vera. There's no way I would go a day without that, for sure. Collagen production, I mean, you name it, it's incredible. So lastly, I want to talk to you a little bit about Eon. And Eon is not a sleep patch by any means at all. It is, again, a non-transdermal patch. It is the same thing as far as the lattice structure. It's just a different structure, a different solution of these molecules that form together, these proprietary organic blends of amino acids, oxygen, water, and sugars. Different formulation in this lattice structure. But we know Eon is powerful. It was the #1 selling patch that LifeWave had until the X39 was released, of course, 6 years ago. We know that it is huge in reducing inflammation and stress in the body. It helps to lower cortisol, which we talked about cortisol spikes in the previous slide. So when you look at sleep issues, using Eon at night would be beneficial for you. I mean, especially if you're someone that doesn't turn this or the TV or the computer off, using that at night to shut off the monkey mind. It's going to help lower that stress hormone and increase that DHEA. So that's going to help your body to repair, elevating those anti-neoplastins, which are going to help regulate the primitive immune system, which is going to upregulate the SOD, superoxide dismutase, which is the master anti-inflammatory enzyme. That is Eon in a nutshell. Powerhouse patch. So when we look at sleep, if you look at that last column there, again, the primary purpose is not actually sleep. It's anti-stress, anti-inflammatory, but supporting that restorative sleep by helping with the cortisol levels and regulating the nervous system. We know that Eon brings your nervous system into a parasympathetic state versus that fight or flight mode, sympathetic, go, go, go. So it's really just a huge benefit if you have issues with sleeping to use that at night. Again, reducing the cortisol. We can see the stress studies with the HRV showing parasympathetic shift, calmer brainwave activity, much more restful sleep, deeper sleep. And so with stress and anxiety and nighttime restlessness, this is a great thing to use at night. Put it on, leave it on, below belly button, back of neck, leave it on your, please leave it on 12 hours. When you get up in the morning, don't take it off until you've had it on for 12 hours, or put it on a little earlier in the evening, wherever that schedule works for you. But we do see better recovery and calmer nights, and that's an indirect but powerful support for the sleep. So stress means stress less, better sleep support. So silent nights, again, is best for increasing sleep duration, and aloe vera is best for improving sleep quality and skin regeneration, and Eon is best for stress-related sleep problems like winding down and cortisol-driven restlessness. So with that being said, time-wise, we are right at our 8:30 mark. I wanted to share this information with you tonight because, like I said, this is the first in the series of talking about longevity tools to live and increase your health span and your lifespan. And our patches can support you in that journey. But you have to do your part. You have to do your part as well, too. And knowing that this technology is something you can use in a safe and effective way, these patches can all be worn at night. They can all three be worn together. If you've never used any of them at all, you might want to start with one, right? Of course, you're going to use your X39 during the day, 100%. Every day, 12 hours on, take it off, throw it away. You would want to maybe start with, try the Eon at night. See how that works for you. See what you notice. Give yourself a week or so. Maybe add in the aloe vera then, or add in the silent nights, whatever you want to do. Just know that these patches work individually in and of themselves, but they also work synergistically together. And for purposes of benefits, things that I mentioned, you may want the benefits from all of them. So join me again next week and the following weeks as we talk about different longevity tools in your toolbox and the different patches that support those amazing tools that you're going to have that you're going to increase your lifespan and your health span with, which is what we're here for, right? David's whole purpose and mission is to be able to help improve people's quality of life in a way that's safe and non-invasive, that has no contraindications, no side effects or interactions, but you can do this as part of a healthy diet and lifestyle, and using all of these tools in your toolbox will help you do that. So thank you for the love and the hearts. Appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic evening. Get back with that person that invited you. They're going to talk to you about how they can help you, support you in your wellness journey. Thank you all. Have a good evening.